International Affairs. International Seminar on Knowledge Sharing on Conservation of Natural and Cultural Heritage in Kathmandu on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an international seminar on knowledge sharing of conservation of natural and cultural heritage was organized by the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, INTACH, in Kathmandu. Ambassador of India Naveen Srivastav informed about the Indian government's contribution to conserving cultural heritage. The Government of India provided $50 million in aid for the reconstruction of two UNESCO heritage sites, Pashuptinath Temple and Bhandarkhal of Patan Darbar Square after the 2015 earthquake in Nepal. China builds new dam in Tibet. China is constructing a new dam on the Mabjazangbo River in Tibet, close to the Tri-junction of India, Nepal and Tibet, raising concerns since China has ramped up creation of military and dual-use infrastructure, and in the eastern and western sectors of the line of actual control. The development comes in the wake of China unveiling plans in 2021 to build a massive dam on the lower reaches of Yalangzangbo to generate up to 70 GW of power, 3 times that of the country's Three Gorges Dam, which is the world's largest hydropower plant in terms of installed capacity. The Brahmaputra, known as Yalangzangbo in China, is a 2,880 kilometers long transborder river that originates in the Mansarovar and flows 1,700 kilometers within Tibet, 920 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, and 260 kilometers in Bangladesh. The dam is on the Mabjazangbo River, a tributary of the Ganga. The Mabjazangbo River flows into Nepal's Ghaghra or the Karnali River before it joins the Ganga River in India. Initiative to unlock $10 trillion a year for climate and nature launched by WEF. The Giving to Amplify Earth Action, GAIA, was introduced by the World Economic Forum in an effort to assist raise the $10 trillion in funding needed annually to achieve net zero, stop the destruction of the environment, and restore biodiversity by 2050. The goal of guiding the planet towards a 1.5 degrees Celsius warming trajectory is in jeopardy due to the energy and cost of living problems, according to the WEF. In the meantime, the recent UN Biodiversity Conference, CBD COP15, decision to save 30% of the entire Earth and sea appears audacious but flimsy in the face of a worsening biodiversity crisis. South African launch of agri-focused satellite will generate revenue of $108 million. The successful launch of the world's first agri-focused satellite is expected to generate over $108 million in revenue, said the chairperson of the South African Council for Space Affairs. It is the first ever commercial satellite licensed in South Africa following 7 government-sponsored satellites. Dragonfly Aerospace launched the satellite, called AgriSat 1ZA-008, on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. 43rd edition of International Tourism Fair Fitur 2023 feat begins in Madrid. The 43rd edition of the International Tourism Fair Fitur 2023 feat is being held from January के 18 से 22 2023 in Madrid, Spain. It is one of the largest international travel shows in the world. Ministry of Tourism, India is participating in Fitur to accelerate the recovery of tourism in the country to pre-pandemic levels. UNESCO dedicates International Day of Education 2023 to Afghan girls. Women. UNESCO has decided to dedicate the International Day of Education to be celebrated on 24 January 2023 to Afghan girls and women. UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay said that no country in the world should prevent women and girls from getting education, and it is a universal human right that should be respected. For the first time since 1961, a major decline in the population of China was recorded. The biggest decline in the population of China has been recorded after the year 1961. Negative population growth has now started in China. According to data from China's National Bureau of Statistics, the country's population at the end of 2022 was 1.41175 billion, which is less than 1.41260 billion in 2021. According to the United Nations World Population Prospects 2022 forecast, India will become the most populous country in the world by 2023 with a population of 8.4 billion, leaving behind China. India currently has 17.5% of the total world population. Bilateral India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline to begin supplying diesel. The India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline project, signed in 2018, will connect Siliguri in West Bengal in India and Parbatipur in Dinajpur district of Bangladesh. The Friendship Pipeline from India will start supplying diesel to Bangladesh from June. The 131.5 km long pipeline has been constructed for importing diesel from India, 126.5 km of which is in Bangladesh and 5 km in India. UAE and India discussing settling non-oil trade in rupees. The United Arab Emirates is in early discussions with India to trade non-oil commodities in Indian rupees, Minister for Foreign Trade Diathani Al-Zayudi said in World Economic Forum, Davos. The minister said other countries, including China, had also raised the issue of settling non-oil trade payments in local currencies. He added that the UAE is hoping to conclude a trade agreement with Cambodia in the first quarter. The move would build on an agreement signed in 2022, which aimed to increase trade excluding oil between the two countries to $100 billion by 2027. India, first to extend assurance to Sri Lanka for debt restructuring. India has become the first creditor nation to extend assurance towards restructuring the debt of Sri Lanka as the island nation makes efforts to unlock a bridge financing package from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. India has extended financial assurances to the IMF. This was announced during External Affairs Minister Dr.S. Jaishankar's official visit to Sri Lanka in January 2023. Indo-Russian joint venture has started manufacturing Kalashnikov AK-203 assault rifles in India. The manufacturing of Kalashnikov AK-203 assault rifles has recently started in Amethi, Uttar Pradesh by an Indo-Russian joint venture. Indo-Russian Rifles Private Limited plans to ensure 100% production of AK-203 rifles in India. India is the first country to start production of the world-famous brand AK-200 series assault rifles. The AK-203 assault rifle is considered to be the latest and most advanced version of the AK-47 rifle. India announces 100 million Maldivian rupiah for community development projects in Maldives. External Affairs Minister Dr.S. Jaishankar arrived in Maldives as part of his 3-day visit to Maldives and Sri Lanka. India and Maldives signed MoU on development projects. The agreement included grant assistance of 100 million rupiah, Maldives currency, for the High Impact Community Development Project, HICDP. It also includes the development of a sports complex at Gahadu, an academic collaboration between the Maldives National University and the Cochin University of Science and Technology. India has handed over to sea ambulances to help the Maldives National Defence Force, MNDF. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman clears Sanjay Bhandari's extradition 2 months after a Westminster court in London ordered the extradition of fugitive arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari to India. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman has given her approval on the matter. It is noteworthy that on 7 November, District Judge Michael Snow ordered Bhandari's extradition, which was sent to Home Secretary Suella Braverman for approval. Bhandari, 60, has been under investigation since 2019 for corruption in ARS 985 crore deal in 2009 to buy 75 PC-7 trainer aircraft from Swiss aircraft maker Pilatus Aircraft. Extradition is the formal process of surrendering a person from one state to another. The extradition of a fugitive criminal to India is regulated under the Indian Extradition Act, 1962. The Consular, Passport and Visa (CPV) Division, Ministry of External Affairs is the central nodal authority to administer the Extradition Act. MoU. HCHF and Ladakh Tourism Department organized the annual Ethnic Mamani Festival in Ladakh. The Himalayan Cultural Heritage Foundation, HCHF, and the Ladakh Tourism Department organized the annual Ethnic Mamani Festival at the historic Satyangkung village and Chittanchagran. Satyangkung village is about 500 years old and is still preserved and being developed as one of the heritage villages in Ladakh. Siemens signs €3 billion train deal in India. Siemens has signed a €3 billion S4.28 billion contract to supply and service freight trains in India. Siemens will deliver 1,200 electric locomotives and provide servicing for 35 years under the agreement, also its biggest ever in India. IPA and RIA signed an agreement to set up Centre for Maritime Economy and Connectivity. The Indian Ports Association, IPA, and Research Information System for Developing Countries, RIS, signed a Memorandum of Agreement for setting up a Centre for Maritime Economy and Connectivity in the presence of the Minister for Ports, Shipping Waterways, and Ayushri Sarbananda Sonowal. The proposed project of the transshipment port at Galathea Bay at Greater Nicobar in Andaman Nicobar Islands will be the future, which will be advantageous for the BIMSTEC nations. Adani Enterprises signs agreement with Ashok Leyland. Adani Enterprises signed an agreement to launch a pilot project to develop a hydrogen fuel cell electric truck, FCET, for mining logistics and transportation, with Ashok Leyland, India, and Ballard Power, Canada. The agreement marks Asia's first planned hydrogen-powered mining truck. NTPC REL signs MoU with Tripura for collaboration in renewable energy. NTPC Renewable Energy Ltd, NTPC REL, signed an MoU with the government of Tripura on 16 January 2023 in New Delhi. It was signed for the development of floating and ground-mounted based renewable energy projects in Tripura. State News. Goa Manohar International Airport wins Best Sustainable Greenfield Airport Award. The new Goa Manohar International Airport, MIA, built by the GMR Goa International Airport Ltd, GGIL, a subsidiary of GMR Airports Infrastructure Limited, won the prestigious Best Sustainable Greenfield Airport Award under Aviation, Sustainability and Environment at ASSOCHAM 14th International Conference Cum Awards for Civil Aviation 2023 at New Delhi. PM Modi names 21 islands in Andaman and Nicobar after decorated soldiers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually unveiled the model of a proposed memorial dedicated to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, to be set up in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and said it will infuse feelings of patriotism among people. Modi, on the occasion of Netaji's 126th birth anniversary, also named 21 islands of the Union Territory after Paramveer Chakra awardees. Assam to book men under POCSO Act for marrying girls aged less than 14. The Assam government on Monday decided to book men who marry girls below 14 years of age under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences, POCSO Act. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, 2006 will be used to prosecute men who marry girls between the ages of 14 and 18. And required legal action would be taken against them. Protection of Children from Sexual Offences, POCSO Act, 2012 came into effect on 14th November 2012, which was enacted in consequence to India's ratification of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1992. The Act recognizes that both girls and boys can be victims of sexual abuse and that such abuse is a crime regardless of the gender of the victim. Jharkhand government launches water conservation scheme to benefit drought-hit farmers. Jharkhand Agriculture Minister Badal Patralekh launched a water conservation scheme with an outlay of 467 rupees 32 crore to benefit farmers who faced drought last year in the state. Under the scheme, 2,133 ponds will be renovated and 2,795 percolation tanks will be built in all blocks of 24 districts of the state. Mega infrastructure project on Great Nicobar Islands. The Government of India is planning to develop the Nicobar Islands in terms of defense, commerce, logistics, and industries. This is called the Mega Infrastructure Project. It is also referred to as the Great Nicobar Plan. There are four major components in the project. They are a transshipment terminal for containers, an airport, cities, and a solar power plant. The size of all four projects is big. The transshipment terminal shall handle 14.2 million TEU of cargo. The solar plant is to be built on 16,000 hectares of land. Two new cities are to be built in coastal regions. International airport to support peak hour traffic of 4,000 passengers. About the project developing authority, Niti Aayog is the developing authority of the project. To be implemented by ANIDCO Andaman and Nicobar Islands Integrated Development Corporation project worth 75,000 rupees crores. Bangalore to host एक सेंट G20 Environment Working Group meet in February 2023. G20's first Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group ECSWG meeting will be held from February के 9 से 11, 2023 in Bangalore, Karnataka. It will be hosted by the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It will focus on the agenda promotion of blue economy, restoration of degraded lands ecosystems, and enhancement of biodiversity. Punjab government launches School of Eminence project in Mohali. Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann launched the Schools of Eminence project in Mohali, Punjab in January 2023. Under the School of Eminence project, 117 government schools in 23 districts will be upgraded. The objective of this project is to ensure the holistic development of the students along with the rejuvenation of education in government schools so that they become responsible citizens. Odisha government to disinvest 49% share in OPGC. The Odisha government has floated a global tender to disinvest 49% stake in the state-owned Odisha Power Generation Corporation, OPGC. The move came just 2 years after the state government bought back its 49% share in OPGC from US-based company, AS Corporation Ltd. For the first time in the country, the government of Kerala has announced to give 60 days maternity leave to girl students. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has made a big announcement for the girl students. He said that for the first time in the country, menstrual and maternity leave would be given to all girl students above the age of 18 years in the institutions of the Higher Education Department of the state government. Higher Education Department has also decided to give maximum 60 days maternity leave to girl students who have completed 18 years of age, under which now 2% relaxation will be given to girl students in attendance. The required attendance percentage for girl students will be 73% including menstrual leave, although it was earlier 75%. IISF's Art et Vigyanika Science Literature Festival 2023 will be organized in Bhopal. A science literature festival named Vigyanika is being organized by the Indian International Science Festival, IISF. Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Manit, Bhopal during the period 22nd and 23 January 2023. S20 India is passing through the presidency of G20 and the Indian Institute of Science has become the Secretariat for Science 20, S20. S20 will deal with scientific aspects like climate change, food security and health. Rising demand for Kevada oil, a blessing for 200,000 people in Odisha's Ganjam. The recent growth in demand for Kevada oil has boosted the revenue of families in the coastal pockets of Odisha's Ganjam district, who have been eking out a living by preparing aromatic Kevada oil for years. Ganjam Kevada, Pandanus fascicularis, oil is steam distilled from the flower of the aromatic scrupine plant and used as an aromatic in the food industry and other sectors. It is registered under the Geographical Indications of Goods, Registration and Protection Act, 1999 by the government of NACO. Forms largest human red ribbon chain in Kalinga Stadium, Odisha. Odisha State AIDS Control Society organized an awareness program on HIV/AIDS in coordination with the Department of Sports and Youth Services and Hockey India under the leadership of National AIDS Control Organization, NACO. The spectators in the gallery included 4,800 students from various schools, Red Ribbon Club members from colleges, people from community, and participants from the Mission Shakti department. The event created the largest human red ribbon chain at the East Gallery of the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. PM Modi launches projects worth 38,000 rupees crore in Mumbai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stones of development projects worth more than 38,000 crore in different sectors in Mumbai. This was PM Modi's first visit to Mumbai after Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde took office at June end last year after replacing the Mahavikas Aghadi (MVA) government. Hyderabad selected to host WEF Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The World Economic Forum, WEF, has chosen Hyderabad to set up its Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution focused on healthcare and life sciences. The announcement was made after the Telangana government and the World Economic Forum signed a cooperation agreement during the forum's annual meeting in Davos recently. Jammu and Kashmir becomes the first Indian Union territory to completely shift to e-governance mode. Jammu and Kashmir has become the first Union territory of India to go completely digital. Presently, all government and administrative services in Jammu and Kashmir are being provided digitally only. Jammu and Kashmir was a state of India till August 2019. Which was bifurcated on 31st August 2019 to form two union territories named Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Rajasthan is the first state in the country to implement the blindness control policy. Rajasthan has become the first state in the country to control blindness. Blindness control policy has been implemented in Rajasthan. Blindness control policy has been implemented by the government of Rajasthan with the objective of right to sight vision. Place in news. Modems nominated for UNESCO World Heritage Site. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has selected the Pyramids of Assam as the country's sole nomination for the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, World Heritage Site out of 52 heritage sites. The Ahomera Modems, Cemetery of the Royal Family, in Assam's Charaideo district will be India's only nomination for recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. India currently has 40 World Heritage Sites, 32 of them cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed site. About UNESCO, Headquarters, Paris, France, Director General, Audrey Azoulay, founded, 16th November 1945 in London. United Kingdom. India's deepest metro station to be built at Pune Civil Court. The city of Pune will soon hold the distinction of having the country's deepest underground metro station. Pune Civil Court Interchange Station will be 108.59 feet deep with a ceiling of 95 feet. It will be used as an interchange facility for an underground station on the Pimpri-Chinchwad Swargate route and one elevated route on Vanajramwadi route and Hinjewadi Shivajinagar line. The metro will be completed in February 2023 and will start in March. Kerala's Wayanad becomes the first district in the country to provide basic documents to all tribal people. Wayanad becomes the first district in the country to provide basic documents and facilities such as Aadhaar cards, ration cards, birth-death certificates, election ID cards, bank accounts, and health insurance to all tribes people. Banking finance. SBI General Insurance to promote road safety as part of its CSR. SBI General Insurance, a leading general insurance company in India, has partnered with Duers NGO to support the Himachal Pradesh Police in reducing the number of road accidents. As part of its CSR program, SBI General has provided a well-equipped ambulance for immediate medical care for road accident victims in the Mandi district within the crucial golden hour. The partnership between SBI General, Duers NGO, the Himachal Pradesh Police, and the Civil Hospital in Sundarnagar aims to provide timely treatment and access to life-saving medical resources for road accident victims. LIC unveils Jeevan Azad Limited Premium Payment Plan. The Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC, has launched LIC Jeevan Azad Plan. It is a limited-period premium payment plan that offers financial support for the family in case of unfortunate death of the life assured during the policy term. If the LIC policyholder survives the maturity term, then the plan offers a guaranteed base sum assured amount. RBI's proposed expected loss-based approach for provisioning by banks. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, recently proposed a framework for the adoption of an expected loss-based approach for provisioning against loan loss by banks in India. To further enhance the resilience of the banking system, Reserve Bank proposes to amend the prudential regulations governing loan loss provisioning by banks to incorporate the more forward-looking expected credit losses approach as against the extent incurred loss approach. As per the norms, banks will be allowed to design and implement their own models for measuring expected credit losses for the purpose of estimating loss provisions in line with the proposed principles. HC quashes decision by Yes Bank administrator in 2020 to write-off at 1 bonds. The Bombay HC quashed the write-off of additional Tier 1 at 1 bonds worth 8,400 rupee crore issued by Yes Bank Ltd, bringing relief to investors. Yes Bank, which was on the verge of collapse, was placed under a moratorium by the RBI in 2020 and a new management and board were appointed as part of a rescue plan worked out by the RBI. The central bank allowed a write-off of 8,400 rupee crore on at 1 bonds issued by Yes Bank after it was rescued by the SBI. A SEBI probe found that the bank facilitated the selling of at 1 bonds as a super FD and as safe as FD from institutional investors to individual investors who were not informed about all the risks involved in the subscription of these bonds. What are at 1 bonds? These are unsecured bonds issued by banks that have perpetual tenor, no maturity date. These bonds are typically used by banks to bolster their core or Tier 1 capital. ESAF Bank bags Inclusive Finance India Awards 2022 ESAF Small Finance Bank has bagged the prestigious Inclusive Finance India Awards 2022 for its contributions in advancing the goal of financial inclusion and supporting inclusive growth. This award is a recognition of ESAF's unique spectrum of financial inclusion projects: ESAF Dhanashri, ESAF Udyog Jyoti, LSEDP, Local Sustainable Economic Development Project, ESAF Balajyothi, ESAF Vayojyothi, and ESAF Gashon. India to become $26 trillion economy by 2047, EY report Ernst Young released a report titled INDIA at 100, Realizing the Potential of a $26 trillion economy. According to the estimates, Indian economy will reach GDP size of $26 trillion by 2047, the 100th year of the country's independence. The per capita income is expected to increase to $15,000, putting the country among the ranks of developed economies. Google pilots SoundPod by Google Pay for UPI payment. Sound alerts. Google piloted a sound box for Indian market, similar to the Paytm or PhonePe ones, which gives a sound alert on the digital payment. The SoundPod by Google Pay is accompanied by a QR code of a merchant linked with their Google Pay for Business account. The SoundPods are being built by Amazon-backed Zontag. SBI raises 9,718 rupees CR via infra bonds. SBI has raised 9,718 rupee crore through its second infrastructure bond issuance at a coupon rate of 7.70% per annum for the 15-year money. This is the second fundraising since early December, when it had mocked up 10,000 rupee crore via infra bonds. Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited awarded with the Best Bank Award. Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited (TMB) has bagged the Best Small Bank Award in the Best Banks Survey for the year 2022. The Best Bank Survey was conducted by Business Today KPMG, BTKPMG Best Bank Survey. The bank has won the Best Small Bank Award under the category of banks with a book size of less than ₹1 lakh crore. Kisan Vikas Patra (KVP) interest rate hiked for January se March 2023. The KVP interest rate applicable in the first quarter of 2023, January se March, was announced on 30 December 2022. The new interest rate is 7.2%. The previous interest rate was 7%. The Union Government revises the Kisan Vikas Patra (KVP) interest rate on a quarterly basis. Warehousing Development Regulatory Authority signs MoU with SBI. Warehousing Development Regulatory Authority (WDRA) signed a memorandum MoU of understanding with State Bank of India to help farmers in getting low interest rate loans. The objective of the MoU is to provide information on the benefits to the depositors besides carrying out further activities to improve agricultural finance in India. SEBI allows AIFs to participate in credit default swap transactions. Regulator SEBI allowed alternative investment funds AIFs to participate in the credit default swaps CDS market as protection buyers and sellers in a bid to facilitate the deepening of the domestic corporate bond segment. The new norms, which will come into force with immediate effect, allow business entities to hedge risks associated with the bonds market. In 2012, the capital markets regulator SEBI had allowed mutual funds to participate in credit default swap transactions, which allow business entities to hedge risks associated with the bonds market. A credit default swap (CDS) is a financial swap arrangement in which the buyer is compensated by the seller in the event of a debt default by the debtor or another credit event. SMBC Bank, Oaktree submit AOS for IDBI strategic stake sale. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation Group, SMBC Bank of Japan and Oaktree Capital Management are among those that have submitted expressions of interest AOIS for the strategic stake sale in IDBI Bank. Oaktree is a U.S. alternative assets firm founded by Howard Marks, one of the world's most formidable distressed debt investors. The stake being sold is held by the Center and LIC.